VA medical records. Fortunately, this is super easy to get because they're in the VA, right? The VA has, you can go to va.gov. It's actually My Healthy Vet, and I cannot. This is another thing, VA. If the VA watches this, which I highly doubt they do, why are there so many dang websites for VA stuff? Just put it on va.gov, call it a day. Your blue button report is on My Health Vet, which is stupid. I don't understand it. Anyways, you have to sign in to My Healthy Vet, request your blue button report. It's going to download. It takes 5-10 minutes to download, and then boom, you have your VA medical records right there. The reason this matters is because how your service treatment records is that in-service event or evidence from service or time in service, right? Your VA medical records is that current diagnosis, which is the second criteria for service connection. So this does matter. I want to talk about what's in your VAMRs for VA medical records for VA disability claims specifically. You're looking for two things. One is something called an SCT code. I forgot what that stands for, but it's a treatment code, right? If the VA is treating you for migraines or they ordered a EKG for a heart condition, you're going to have an SCT code. It's how the VA operates. It's how they track, funds being spent. Boom. If you just control F, SCT, you will find every single thing you were seen for at the VA. Super easy to do. It takes like 30 seconds. The other code you're looking for is called an ICD, which is International Classification for Diseases. That is your, no shit, a formal diagnosis. Like it's the international community saying, hey, ICD, 10.0531, lower back pain. I don't know what the code is for lower back pain, but you get what I'm saying, right? It will be an actual diagnosis. For your VA claim, ICD code would be like your tier 1 evidence. You're up there. But the SCT codes that show continuous treatment are, for VA rating purposes, good enough. Okay. So it's not like, oh, I don't see an ICD for my lower back, I'm not going to be service connected. If you're on pain pills, you're on muscle relaxers, you're doing physical therapy, all of those are going to have SCT codes. The VA is going to see that. That's what the VA will see versus like your private records. And they will send that to the C&P examiner. And now you can talk to, hey, I have this from service. I have this from the VA. And you're giving the VA, I love how you use the word cornerstone, Jason. You're giving the C&P examiner the cornerstone evidence saying, I was seen in 2013 for migraines. I do have a current prescription for sumatriptan for my migraines through the VA. There you go. And if you say that to a C&P examiner, they're just like, hey, thanks for making my job easier. When was that complaint? 2013 on your PDHA? Boom. Now they can pull it up right then and there instead of going through the thousands of records that the VA sent them, right? And so I always tell veterans to frame their mind as your VA disability claim is a court case. It's a legal process. It's not healthcare. It's taxpayer money. It's a legal process. It's governed by 38 CFR, by M21 TAC 1, and of course Congress. And so you wouldn't show up to court without evidence. I don't know why veterans submit their claims without evidence either. It's the dumbest thing you can do is to submit a claim and just be like, the VA will get my records, right? Sure they will, but that's my spiel on VA medical records. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to touch on that last thing you said, submitting without evidence. It seems ridiculous to do that. But in the defense of those that don't know, right?
You don't know what
I mean, don't know. Yeah, if you think about this, there's maybe 6 million veterans that are service connected, right? So something like that, 6 million-ish veterans that are service connected for disability compensation. Well, arguably, YouTube is probably the best pusher-outer of information regarding on how to deal with it and what to do. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody out there that has any substantial amount of subscribers to their channel or views per video that comes close to a 6 million veteran population that's connected to VA. So what does that mean? That means that you have millions of veterans that are like, I barely know the process. I know that I can file a claim with the VA. The VA has a healthcare team. They're part of the government. They should go get my records. In fact, what the VA should do for me is I should file a claim and write down all of the ailments that I think I have. No diagnosis. I think I have migraines. I sure feel like I do. I feel like I have, some mental health issues. I feel like my back's jacked up, right? These are all kind of self-diagnosed things that are probably true. And the VA should now call me into one of their medical facilities and give me a good once over, and be able to go, you know what, that's due to your time and service. We're going to hook you up. So that's what people think is going to happen. And then they get denied, and then they go, the VA sucks, and then they move on their way. And I'll tell you that I think that most of the time, the VA gets one chance to show the veteran that they're there for them. Mm. And when that doesn't happen, even if it's the veteran's fault, right? When it doesn't happen, that veteran has a bad taste in their mouth. They do that and they leave and they never come back most of the time. Or it takes something catastrophic later in order for them to come back. And that to me, Clay, says that the system's broken and there needs to be a better way. So to the VA medical records and the blue button thing and e-benefits and all that good stuff. Yes. Awesome. Super easy. I love it. It did remind me though of our green button idea on the VBA side. I love that. So on the blue button stuff, that's great. One of the things that you had talked about before, Clay, that I would love for you to mention again is through the online atmosphere in today's world, right? You being able to connect to your VA doctor and give information and stuff. I would love for you to share how you can utilize your VA medical records for filing for an increase or filing for maybe a secondary, and what you could do as a veteran online to be able to provide the VA the information you want to get into your service treatment records for evidence purposes for that future claim. So I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts on that. If you remember talking about it before, I think you did a great job, and that's why I'm not going to talk about it. So there you go. There you go for being good. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I do that.
I hope you get what I'm putting down.